When we're thinking about fractions, we often use a part-whole relationship, where the top of the fraction or the numerator represents the part, and the denominator, the bottom, represents how many pieces make up the whole. And the part-whole relationship is a ratio comparison, which means that we can also do this in groups. And it means that also the math that we use is times and divide. So when we take a look at the fraction 5 over 6, this means that we have 5 parts over 6 parts that make up the whole. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, first of all, draw out my 6 parts. So I'm going to take my fraction bar and I'm going to divide this into 6 parts. And an easy way to do this is to first divide it into 2 equal parts, right in the half. Half is really easy to do. And then I'm going to kind of divide it into 1/3 pieces, into 3 parts. Try to do it as equally as I can. Okay, I'm gonna maybe just redo this one. This is not the best, but maybe that's about halfway. That's about 1/3 and 1/3, 1/3 and 1/3. So now this gives me my 6 parts whole. So that's my denominator. I'm gonna then shade in the parts that make up the parts, or the numerator. So I need 5 parts. So I'm going to have 1 part here, 2 parts here, 3 parts here, 4 parts here, and 5 parts here. So now I have 5 out of 6 parts shaded. So that represents 5, 6. Now we can also think of this as a number line. So we can think of this edge as 0 on the number line, and we can think of this edge as 1 whole on the number line. And that part right there on the number line represents 5, 6 as a number on the number line. So we can do this in different shapes. So we're going to do this in circle. And for circles, again, it's easy to divide into nice half. Okay, we divide it into halves. And then I'm going to try to divide each half into thirds. So that's about 1/3 through there, maybe about there. And then I can draw a line there. I'm going to actually maybe make it nice and straight. Okay, and then I'm going to do maybe 1/3 like that. So each of those pie pieces look like about 1/3, and each of these pie pieces look about like 1/3 of the half. So each one, now I have 6 parts that make up my whole, and then I'm going to shade in the 5 parts that make up my numerator, or my part of the part-whole relationship. So there are 5 parts shaded out of 6. For the triangle, it's a little bit hard, but when I do this, if I actually draw lines from the vertex to the middle of the opposite side, what ends up happening is I actually end up dividing this into 6 equal pieces. So I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're all the same shape. So we know that they're all the same size. So I'm just going to then now shade 5 of these pieces. Now with the triangle, it naturally will divide into 3, but since 6 is a multiple, and this is what I mean about the times piece, we can do groups of 3. Because we can do groups of 3 and 6, we can divide up the triangle into 6 parts. For the square, it doesn't naturally divide into 6 parts. So what I'll do is I can do this in strips like this. I can do half like this, and I can do thirds going this way, like that. Or I can just do it into 6 even strips. That would work as well. So any way that you want to do this, you can divide this into, as long as you divide it into 6 equal parts, that makes up my whole. And then out of this, I'm going to shade one strip here, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 6. And again, this represents 5 out of 6, or the 5/6 fraction. So this link here that I've given you with the QR code will take you to an app that will help you visualize these as well, and you can make fractions. So I want you to do that next.